Hey everyone, welcome back to Speak Better English, the podcast where we help you improve your English step by step. I'm your host, Emma.
And I'm Jake. Glad to be here again.
So Jake, today we're diving into something that confuses so many learners, grammar. Or more specifically, why memorizing grammar rules might actually be slowing them down instead of helping.
Oh, absolutely. This is a really important topic because so many learners believe that grammar is the key to fluency. They memorize rules, study verb tables, and yet, when it comes to speaking, they're stuck.
Right, I think every English learner has had that moment where they know the rule in theory, but they can't remember it when they need to speak.
Exactly. So today, we're going to break down why that happens, and more importantly, what to do instead.
Let's start from the beginning. Why do you say memorizing grammar doesn't really help?
Because grammar is a tool, not the goal. The goal of language is communication. You want to share ideas, emotions, needs. But grammar rules are abstract. They don't come naturally in conversation. When you memorize grammar, you often can't apply it fast enough in real time.
So it's like studying the rules of basketball, but never actually playing the game.
Exactly. You might understand the theory, but you can't shoot, dribble, or pass. Language is a skill. You build it through use, not memorization.
That makes sense. But grammar still has a place, right?
Of course. Grammar is helpful after you've built some familiarity. Think of it like polishing a skill. But memorizing before you can even speak? That's like painting a house before you build the walls.
I love that analogy. So for learners listening right now who have been focusing mainly on grammar books, you're saying, pause that and focus on usage instead.
Yes, shift from theory to practice. Grammar should support your speaking, not stop it.
Let's make it practical. Can you give us a grammar rule that people often memorize but still get confused about?
Absolutely. One of the most common is the present perfect versus past simple. Students memorize the rule, present perfect equals, have plus past participle. And yet, they hesitate when saying things like, I have eaten, or, I ate.
I've heard that so many times. People ask, which one is correct?
Exactly. But if you look at real usage, the difference becomes clearer. I have eaten sushi before means you have experience. It's general, no time mentioned. I ate sushi last night is specific. You know when it happened.
So instead of focusing on the formula, focus on the context of when people use these phrases.
Yes. Listen for the pattern in shows, conversations, podcasts. Notice when people use one or the other. Then practice those same situations.
So usage teaches the rule naturally.
Exactly. It sticks better, and you won't freeze when speaking.
So if we're not memorizing grammar rules, what should we be doing instead?
We need to learn grammar like native speakers do, through patterns and repetition. You don't memorize rules when you're 2 years old. You hear, repeat, and copy.
Right, like a baby doesn't say, today I will learn the past continuous tense.
Exactly. They say what they hear. I'm eating, you're going, she's sleeping. Those are patterns. And over time, they internalize the structure.
So for adult learners, that same strategy can work?
Totally. You just need to hear, repeat, and use. Not analyze and memorize.
So it's more about exposure to correct grammar in context, not isolated study.
Exactly. Learn useful phrases as a whole, and your brain will start noticing the grammar naturally. It's how we really acquire language.
Alright, so now let's talk about practice. What methods work best for learning grammar naturally?
3 powerful ones: input, imitation, and output.
Let's unpack those.
Sure. First, input. That's listening to real English. Not just textbooks, but shows, podcasts, YouTube. The more you hear real grammar used correctly, the more your brain starts to recognize patterns.
So you're not studying grammar, but you're absorbing it.
Exactly. Then comes imitation. Listen to a short clip, pause, and repeat what you hear. This builds pronunciation and grammar naturally.
Like shadowing, right?
Yes, shadowing is great. And finally, output. That's using the language yourself. Speak out loud, write sentences, even talk to yourself in English.
So with those 3, you're practicing grammar without needing to study it directly.
Exactly. You're learning by doing.
Let's talk mindset. A lot of learners feel guilty if they're not studying grammar.
Yeah, there's this belief that grammar is what makes you serious about learning. But fluency isn't about how much grammar you know, it's about how well you can communicate.
So letting go of grammar obsession isn't laziness. It's actually more efficient.
Exactly. Think of it this way. Would you rather memorize 10 rules and still feel nervous, or learn 5 phrases and feel confident using them?
Easy answer. Confidence wins.
And confidence comes from success. Every time you say something and it works, you feel stronger. That builds momentum.
So for anyone listening who feels stuck in grammar books, this is your permission to stop and speak.
Yes, speak first. Grammar will follow.
Okay, Jake, let's wrap up with a plan. What can learners do this week to start applying this?
Here's a simple 5-day plan. Day 1. Watch a short English video. Write down 3 useful phrases. Day 2. Shadow the phrases. Repeat them 5 times each out loud. Day 3. Use those phrases in your own sentences. Write or say them. Day 4. Review. Listen again, shadow again, check your pronunciation. Day 5. Use them in conversation, with a friend, teacher, or record yourself.
That's manageable and powerful.
And if you repeat this weekly, your grammar will improve without ever opening a grammar book.
Jake, this was amazing. I think a lot of learners are going to feel relieved and excited after hearing this.
I hope so. Grammar is important, but it shouldn't stop your progress. Learn it the natural way.
Thanks again for joining us. And if you enjoyed this episode, be sure to follow the show and share it with someone who's tired of grammar drills.
And leave us a comment. What's one grammar rule you'll stop memorizing starting today?
Until next time, keep speaking, keep learning, and trust the process.